Hi there, everybody. I'm Adam Kolodny. Welcome to today's video on the theory of evolution. Now, the theory of evolution is attributed to Charles Darwin, who proposed this theory in his book, The Origin of Species, which is about his journey to the Galapagos Island on his ship, the Beagle. The theory of evolution that Darwin proposed in his book is not the same one that we use today. However, some of the concepts that he put out in his book are ones that we still use today. For example, in the current theory of evolution, we believe that all life began with a common ancestor. Now, in Pokemon, their form of evolution is a lot more like metamorphosis. However, that's not to say that we can't use any examples from Pokemon in the explanation of the theory of evolution. For example, Mew. In Pokemon, or Mew's Pokédex entry, it says that because Mew can use so many moves, all of them, in fact, it is theorized by scientists that he is the ancestor to all Pokemon, or she. Mew's gender is not specifically stated. Now, the theory of evolution's main point is descent with modification, or over time, mutations in the gene of a certain species will result in an adaptation that may be better or worse for the survival of the species. If it's worse for the survival of the species, then that member that has the mutation will not reproduce and the gene will eventually die out that created the bad mutation. However, if it's a good mutation, then that member of the species will be able to reproduce better, and its offspring will have a better chance of reproducing and surviving in that specific environment than the counterparts without that gene. And so, over time, as these mutations add up, a different species will be created. Let's take, for example, Pidgey. A Pidgey wouldn't rapidly turn into a Pidgeot or a Pidgeotto, as Pokemon's general explanation of evolution is shown. However, maybe Pidgeys that are a little bit larger might be a bit better at gathering food or fighting off predators, so the larger Pidgeys will eventually start reproducing better than the smaller ones, and Pidgey as a species will grow larger and become a Pidgeot or a Pidgeotto over hundreds or thousands of years, because the larger size is more beneficial to its survival. This brings me to my next point. Evolution can only affect traits that are already present in a species. For example, as Mew becomes Bagon. Now, first thing that would have to happen is Bagon would have to lose its tail. So basically, Mew's in a certain environment with smaller tails. Maybe that's found more attractive by the female Mews, or maybe there are Pokemon in that area that are a lot faster and better at snatching the tail part. So Pokemon with smaller tails would be more beneficial to whatever environment. There would also have to be a more bluish tint, that sort of thing. But further on, the shell on Bagon's head, basically, maybe there were a lot of falling rocks in the area, and so a thicker head plate, the skin on the head would have to get thicker, and that would be more beneficial. Skin would become bluer because maybe it blends in better. Your mouth becomes larger so it could fit larger pieces of prey in its mouth, or whatever Bagons feed on. But you can get the idea of what I'm saying. That evolution only affects traits that are already existing within an organism. Now, as you can hopefully have been able to understand through my presentation, that evolution is not as crazy as the prosecutor in the Scopes monkey trial had once thought it was. If you don't know about the Scopes monkey trial, well, let me tell you, it was a crazy one. In fact, the prosecutor at one point brings in a chimpanzee and tells it to evolve right in front of us, because if a animal can evolve right in front of us, then it is true that evolution is real, whereas if it can't, then evolution is not real, a concept clearly created by a madman who did not understand the theory of evolution, because evolution takes time, hundreds of thousands of years to happen. And so, that concludes today's presentation. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you felt it helped you, leave a like, and tell me down in the comment section if you're a creationist or a Darwinist. Darwinists believe in the theory of evolution, and creationists don't. I'm not going to hold it against you, although I will be silently judging you. Alright, everybody. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next week for my next video.